We're back at that, campfire setting again because there's a couple things that happened today in my personal life that threw me through a loop, and I almost didn't do this video. And nor have I put a light in my room, I'm not gonna lie. That's what we get. Before we jump into the depression topic, I want to mention that the accounts I talked about last week are gone. We contacted the Epilepsy Foundation, and they contacted Instagram, and they got them removed, and I'm pretty sure permanently. But I unfortunately do not think those will be the last of them. I think we'll probably have to experience this again. So if it does happen again, I put her email address in the highlights in the bio or under the bio for you to be able to get in contact with her. So just, screenshot it, block them, report them, and then email her if it gets bad, because they have our back for it. Instagram doesn't seem to move quick enough or care. But onto the depression part. I put out a poll a couple weeks ago asking how many people suffer from depression, as well as anxiety, as well as, just your epilepsy. It seems like majority of people have, experienced depression. And I want to be clear and not to offend or insult anybody, but being very, very sad is not the same as being depressed. There is no medication to pull you out of being very, very sad. Usually that's just, a carton of ice cream and a shitty horror movie that'll do that. But I also don't want you to think it's normal to feel depressed. I want you to know that it's common. Feeling depressed is not good, obviously, and you shouldn't just keep it to yourself. To be honest, I kept it to myself. I tried to swallow it. I tried to ignore it. I tried to just be like, I'm being emotional, and it ate me alive. I was suicidal. I ended multiple relationships because I pushed people away, and, I just couldn't get a handle on it. And finally, I went to, my neuropsychiatrist, and I spilled my guts on the table because I couldn't handle it anymore. And I didn't honestly feel like talking to my family, I'm not gonna lie, because as much as I love them, I don't want the motherly opinion or the sibling opinion. I kind of want someone that's going to help me and not try to, make me feel better as a relative, I guess. And I did CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. I did DBT, dialectical behavioral therapy, and they help. They're a pain in the ass, I'm not going to lie, but they retrain you how to think. They retrain you how to process your emotions and, frankly, become more rational. That was one of the things that had me spiral down into depression, was how irrational I thought. I would immediately question everyone's intentions, everyone's want to be in my life, and it pushes people away. I know we deal with a lot of people running in general just because we have epilepsy or, something wrong with us, and it hurts, but, like I've said before, let them go. You have enough to deal with. And another thing I know is very depressing are seizures in general. Not just the fact that you have seizures whenever they decide to pop up. That's super depressing, and you have to, almost wrap your life around it. And that can be even more depressing, because what you want to do or the way you want to do it may have to be rewired because of what you live with. And it sucks, you see other people not having to make accommodations and just getting to live their life how they want. But, again, that's temporary, and any day they can wake up and have epilepsy. So, but also the fact that you having seizures totally screws with your brain. My seizures in general are in the lobe that the emotions come from and are process and all that stuff. And for that reason, I'm a nutcase sometimes. And I know that. And I fully accept that. But I also know that a lot of it is not something that I can control. My brain does not, process and does not function like, let's say, a healthy brain does. My brain can ramp up to 500 whatever things per minute, and you don't think my brain's gonna be a little pissed off, and like other parts of the brain might freak out a little bit. Like, yeah, it's gonna happen. And so don't beat yourself up over that. It seems like a lot of us really experience that. The other thing that was mentioned was how alone we can be. And that one gets me a lot. Not like I don't feel like we're all connected, because I feel like we really are. But how many of you guys live by yourself? I do not. I still live with my family, and they all work. My little sister, my little brother, and my mom all work. My boyfriend works. All my friends work. And I can't drive. I can't work right now. My doctors have completely restricted me even working from home. So me and my dog sit at home all day and watch I Love Lucy and read horror movies and stuff. It gets depressing. I'm sick of these four walls in my room. As much as I'm comfortable, I'm over them. I want to do something else. I want to feel productive. So I get that makes you feel down. But if you are feeling depressed and you don't do something about it, that's on you. I know it's really hard to talk about sometimes. I know it's hard to feel like people will understand, but they will. They won't understand why you're just being mopey for no reason. They won't understand why you're just like, meh around the house and have an attitude, or just like staying in bed and not eating, or whatever your depression symptoms are, unless you tell them. They'll think you're just being lazy. They think you just don't want to, or antisocial. So you need to talk about it, and the more you talk about it, the more it gets easier. Like now when I'm upset, instead of shutting down, I can actually tell people what's bothering me and try to work through it, because I've gotten to that point in my therapy, and it's been really beneficial. And I want you guys to at least try something like that, because it's not worth wallowing in depression or thinking horrible thoughts such as suicide, And I want you to know that we all pretty much experience it. And if you can vent in comments, you can vent in messages, I don't care. I'd rather hear about, you being upset about your Hulu account not being able to be signed in than you wanting to, kill yourself because that was the final straw. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I wanted to say. I want you to know that there are options for depression. Meds suck, but there are meds for depression. There are activities to do depression. Even if you're in a slump, try to pull yourself out of bed and do something. Like, for example, I have a list on my phone that I try to accomplish every day. It's like I try to do one thing that will help, like, personal care. Like, say, like, I pluck my eyebrows, I paint my nails, I take a shower, at least one thing. Then I do something that'll stimulate my mind. So I read or do a word game on my phone or something like that. Then I try to do something to get out of my bed. So I'll go sit in the backyard with my dog or something like that, or go sit in my brother's room, something like that. Then I'll just have me time. I'll watch like a movie or something and just lock down. Then, I probably will take a nap. So I take a nap. And guess what? It makes me feel better having a list of things I need to accomplish. So try that. Try something like that to get you to feel more productive, even just around your house. Or like try to clean something once a day. Do something like that. Because we live in a tough lifestyle. We're very limited in our little square sometimes, but we need to make the best out of our square. So I know this is a long one, but this is a huge topic, and a lot of people seem to experience it. So I just wanted to give it, its proper amount of depth. So that's going to be it for this week. If you have other, ways you cope with your depression or other suggestions, or if you are depressed and want help, just message, comment. We all interact with each other. But That's all I wanted to say, and I will see you guys next week.